Jill and Jess's prediction about Josh: he must go behind bars. Last week, Josh Duggar was arrested by federal agents and held without bail in an Arkansas detention center. The 33-year-old is still in custody, and it sounds like he may want to start getting used to his surroundings. As we all shockingly know by now, Duggar has been charged with possession of child pornography. Allegedly, he received and was in possession of illicit photos of children under the age of 12. It's not the kind of crime that prosecutors or the public take lightly, especially given Josh's history. Back in 2015, the world learned that the eldest son of Jim Bob and Michelle molested 5 young girls. 4 of those 5 were his own sisters, and co-stars of the family reality TV series and media empire. At the time, 2 of his victims, Jill and Jessa Duggar, spoke out in Josh's defense in an interview with Megyn Kelly. For those unfamiliar with Kelly, she was a popular and influential host of a nightly show on Fox News at the time. The sisters were supportive of their troubled brother in 2015, but it appears they soured on him in recent years. It seems safe to say that at least one of the 2 sisters harbors serious doubts about their eldest brother's innocence. Along with husband Derek Dillard, Jill Duggar has distanced herself from the rest of her problematic family. She had numerous reasons for doing so, such as her father's ultra-strict set of rules. But one reason stood out. Many believe that Jill was grossed out by the way that Josh was being treated, and it's certainly hard to blame her. Adding to the speculation is the fact that Jill and Jessa announced a docu-series of their own back in December. Some fans now believe that the sisters were planning to get in front of this scandal prior to Josh's arrest. Obviously, that ship has now sailed, and it's currently unclear if the series will still take place. It's also not clear if the sisters had their father's approval, or if this was a rogue project. Jill, in particular, has shown a surprising willingness to go rogue in recent months. She's talking about sex, having the occasional drink, and Derek's comments about Josh speak for themselves. According to a new report, Jill and Jessa plan to reveal everything on how they're raising strong, independent kids to how they plan to defy family convention by adopting next on their docu-series. Is that it? They'll also spill details of how it was like growing up in the Duggar world and all the rules they had to live by. Read a description for the show. On Duggar-focused Reddit pages, fans have speculated that the real goal of the series was to expose Josh's depravity. Did Jessa expect the arrest and start to plan an exit strategy that kept her on TV with a paycheck? One fan wondered. Makes sense that she would find an exit strategy, paycheck. A third speculated about the possibility of other Duggar kids joining Jill and Jessa's campaign. I've actually wondered this a few times the last few days. I can see Ginger and Josiah joining as well, they wrote. Of course, this is just speculation. No one knows what the other kids knew about Josh, or if that impacted anything. It's hard to imagine they weren't wary and curious, though. 4 of them had been molested by him, after all. Aside from his long-suffering wife Anna, Josh has been persona non grata in his own family for half a decade now. Now that Josh has been arrested, of course, we might never find out what Jill and Jessa's true intentions were. Josh is set to be arraigned this week, at which time, the judge in his case will determine if he's eligible for bail. If he is released, which he is gunning for, saying he's too famous to flee, he's gonna need a new place to live. Josh will not be permitted to return home. He must live someplace where he will not be in contact with minors. All 6 of his kids are underage, of course.